had read on TripAdvisor that the timeshare salesmen at the airport were very aggressive and would try to lie or even go to the extent to wear similar uniforms as some of the known shuttle companies. Sure enough, that happened to us. Having read that beforehand, we were smart enough to dodge the imposters and find our actual shuttle service to the hotel. This was my first time visiting Cabo, but we lucked out booking our flights entirely with Sky Miles and our hotel with Hotels.com rewards. Tours aren't our style when traveling unless there's something really special, so when we saw that there were whale shark encounters in the wild available, we had to book a tour with Cabo Adventures. The whale sharks were in La Paz, which is about a 2-hour drive from Cabo San Lucas. Swimming with a whale shark in the wild had been on Joe's bucket list, so I bought him the excursion for his birthday and went along. The whale shark is the sea's gentle giant, a slow-moving, filter-feeding carpet shark and the largest known surviving fish species. The largest confirmed whale shark has a length of almost 13 meters and a weight of over 21 tons. This experience was one of the most genuinely terrifying things I have ever done. The whale sharks don't ever attack, but I think the scariest part for me was that there was very poor visibility in the water, so you couldn't see the whale shark until you were face to face with it. The guide would set it up so that when a whale shark would be headed our way, he would line us up in the water so that it would swim past us. From afar, they look like they're moving slowly, but when you're in the water with them, it is extremely difficult to keep up. Cabo Adventures protects the whale sharks and asks the people on the tour not to touch them. When I asked about their well-being and if they were affected by these tours, the guide responded that since the whale sharks are not in captivity, they wouldn't keep coming back to the area if they were bothered.
I gotta get paid. Yeah, I gotta get paid.
On the way back to Cabo, we stopped at the infamous Hotel California in Todos Santos, which is rumored to be the hotel from the Eagles song Hotel California. On all the travel blogs I've read, they all make the claim that it's true, but when we got back to LA shortly after our trip, I heard on the radio that the Eagles were suing the hotel, alleging that the resort had profited from false association with the band's famed 1976 song. Madano Beach was about a 20-minute cab ride outside of the main part of Cabo San Lucas, but it was so worth it because it was gorgeous and not too crowded. When I looked around, we seemed to be some of the only people there that weren't natives to Mexico. There were lots of families that brought picnics, umbrellas, and chairs, but since we didn't live there, we weren't quite as prepared. There were no vendors, and the beach itself was pretty remote with no neighboring businesses. But luckily, we found a guy out in the parking lot renting umbrellas for $10 out of the back of his truck. El Gran Pastor and Tacos Gus were some of the best street tacos I've ever had. These places were super casual. El Gran Pastor only had a couple benches out front, but they were great to grab a quick and cheap bite to eat. The Crazy Lobster had great seafood, service, and drinks, and was fairly inexpensive also. Mexico is all about their tequila, and I've never seen so many different brands. I ended up purchasing one called Reposado Don Ramon to take to the beach, and it was so smooth. Madano Beach is the only swimmable beach that's actually in Cabo. We only had a few hours for a beach trip that day, so we opted to check it out since Madano Beach is in town, and the other less touristy beaches were a 30-minute cab ride outside of Cabo. It's a beautiful beach, but it's extremely touristy and was quite crowded, despite us being there before the season was officially in full swing. Also, get ready to say no thank you about 1,000,000 times to the dozens of vendors on the beach. They can be aggressive, but if you repeat yourself a few times, they move along. Joe had buried his beers in a plastic bag in the sand to keep them cold, which is a really smart idea. What's not smart is forgetting where exactly you buried them. After digging all around where we were sitting, he finally found them. Los Tres Gallos is an intimate restaurant in an outdoor courtyard that's great for a romantic date. The food was incredible, and I read that everything is made with fresh ingredients, so if they run out of something, they're out of it for the night. It was off the main strip in Cabo, tucked away on a small side street. You definitely wouldn't see it unless you were looking for it, but I can't recommend it enough. It's great for a special night out on a more limited budget compared to a lot of the other fine dining restaurants in Cabo. El Squid Row came up on so many sites as the place to party, so I had to check it out. It seemed to be the place where under 21ers come to party because the crowd in here looked like a bunch of high school kids and their parents. It was lively but not my cup of tea, so we didn't even stay for one presumably overpriced drink. On our last day in Cabo, we met up with some friends from LA who we hadn't seen in a while that were also in town on vacation. It was a lot of fun hanging with some familiar faces in an unfamiliar town.